Well, good evening. Welcome to the All Over Overland show on Overland Radio. Yes, I am alive, and yes, I am back from what felt like the living dead. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Tonight's show gonna be a cool one. We have a really neat guest that has lots of overlanding background, but we'll get into that too later. So, but before we start the show, I have a little brain fog, so forgive me, but I want to go through and mention our sponsors real quick. So, Opus Camper, Overland Addict, 230 Expedition Superstore, Core, the More Expo, the Big Iron, and obviously Chad at Overland Addict. He's one of our good friends and a fantastic sponsor as well. So we appreciate all of them. I meant to go put my More shirt on earlier, and I totally forgot. But anyway, we'll talk about a few of those sponsors throughout the night. I'd like to talk a little bit about the More Expo that's coming up, Core this weekend, and then Mountain West. So we'll touch on all those. But it's been a couple of weeks, so it feels weird to, be sitting here. I'm a little tired, so if I nod off, forgive me. But let's get Michael in here. I mean, kind of missed Michael. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. So anyway, so without a further ado, as they say, here's the man of the hour.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the All Over Overland show. Obviously, I'm Michael. That's Lee. And yeah, dude. Are you feeling okay?
I'm alive.
You're alive.
For those of you that don't know,
Lee almost died.
I was, and that's not really a far-fetched statement.
No.
Technically. I had prior to, I'll just tell everybody real quick, prior to Expo or Mountain West, I had a root canal. I ended up with blood poisoning.
While he was at the show.
Yeah, it hit me Saturday. One of the most painful things throughout your body, and I already have multiple sclerosis. So, I mean, anyway, I thought that's what was wrong with me. Nonetheless, after the show was over, found out that had the blood poisoning and then ended up with COVID right shortly thereafter. So they kind of overlapped each other. Yeah, I'm finally just getting to the point where I can, not be out of breath when I go pee.
Craziness. Craziness.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the expo.
Yeah, it was, I don't know what you remember, but it was a blast.
I got bits and pieces of it. So, but anyway, yeah, we're going to talk about that. And then, we're going to talk about some other stuff. We got, some other things happening, like, the Core is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up. And then of course, we got
the last Wentworth or whatever they call it. The Nissan thing is happening. Last weekend, this weekend, last weekend? I can't remember if it's last weekend or this weekend.
I saw a post about that somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it, but
yeah, and it's the last one. They're not going to do it anymore for whatever reason. I mean, it's Nissan. It's kind of one of those things where it's not. If it was Toyota, it'd be huge and there'd be 5 million people there. If it was Jeep, it'd be huge and there'd be 5 million people there. But it's Nissan, and for whatever reason, Nissan just isn't on the radar. And I mean, I got to tell you, it's the biggest bang for your buck. That's why I have one. It's got a rear locker, all those things. Speaking of lockers, have you seen the Silverado ZR2?
Yeah, I already talked to my wife about it. We'll have that conversation later. I don't have any black eyes. Let's just put it that way.
Oh my gosh, you cannot have that conversation after getting an alley cab canopy put on your Colorado.
Oh shit, there's other stuff.
So, are they making a diesel? I haven't seen.
No, they're not going to make a diesel. It's only 6.2 liter.
Which still, that's that
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But let's talk about one more thing. We got the Rendezvous coming up soon. Rendezvous in the Ozarks, right?
Dude, I just hit the crap out of my arm. I hurt myself. Look at that.
What'd you do?
I hit the window ledge. Anyway,
Mm-mm.
yeah, the
Rendezvous
rendezvous.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going?
Yeah.
You are going?
I'm not going to go to East now. I was going to go to East, but I'm not going to go to East.
Did
And the
you
reason
did
I'm
you did you get tickets to go? Like
to East or
no,
Rendezvous?
to rendezvous.
No, I didn't. I'm gonna have to
Just call Randy up and say, "Hey Randy,
rant.
we need
Yeah.
a flavor."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Need
I don't know. I don't know that I'm going.
Yeah, because you got your
Yeah.
sweetheart.
Yeah, my
You got a
girlfriend
black tie
is
event.
a
You're gonna be in
big
a
deal.
monkey suit.
Yeah, I just rented it. Hey,
That's Mimi.
I
The wild child. Look at there, no front teeth.
uh-oh, they're gone.
Yeah,
They gone.
she pulled both of them.
Awesome. So yeah, I had to rent a tuxedo this last weekend because the girl that I'm dating, Sarah, who is a lawyer here in Oklahoma City, has been nominated to be Woman of the Year in the state of Oklahoma.
Sweet.
Like, I still don't know how all this happened for me, but
I still think she's blind.
she is an amazing woman, and we just have a blast together. So. We're going to go do that. That's going to be fun. But that is the Thursday of rendezvous.
Yep.
And she has even mentioned that, hey, we could go Saturday and Sunday. And this is it's kind of a big, obviously she's up for Woman of the Year in the state of Oklahoma. She's recognized as the top 50 people making a difference in the state of Oklahoma. So like, it was funny as we started dating and we were about a month into dating and something was said. And I just looked at her and I said, "Are you a big deal? Like, what's going on here?" And, she told me a few of her accomplishments and I was like, oh crap. And then that weekend she sent me a copy of the email that she had been nominated for Woman of the Year. And there's like,
damn,
there's like really like, there's big name people on there for our state, So it was like, what have I got myself into? This is craziness.
So you got that. So you may or may not be there. I think that I'm just going to take the truck with my new Alu cab canopy camper. I don't think I'm going to take the Opus.
Yeah. Well, if it's just you, I get it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. So I've had experience of not owning an Opus, but having the pleasure of getting to sleep in one several times. And now I've pulled one with my truck, and it was the light. So it's the smaller one, which is still sitting in my driveway, I got to say. And I haven't opened it. I haven't messed with it. I've just let it sit there. And you know how hard that's been?
Why don't you open it? You got
But for one, I didn't open the Opus light while we were, so I don't know it as well.
You might be slow, but you ain't plumb dumb. Just open it up.
There's a little bit of plumb dumb going on. But I'll tell you that I was blown away pulling this behind the truck. I didn't even know it was there. Other than my gas mileage was affected, I didn't know it was there. You know how most trailers will fall into the grooves and kind of do that fishing around, especially on those 2-lane, kind of back road highways, that are worn out. Yeah. This one, it just the way the suspension is, it doesn't do that at all.
Well, I got a couple of cool pictures on the way out there of you pulling it. It does look pretty neat. I wish
you didn't send me any of those.
I know, I'll send them to you. I wish I'd have actually put them up here for everybody to see, but yeah. So before we get too deep into the whole expo thing, you want to give an intro and a shout out to our special guest tonight. I mean, he's got a lot going on right now.
Yeah. So we've got Levi with Overland Essentials that's coming on, and there he is right there. What's going on, brother?
What's up, guys? Hey, just listening to your story about your girlfriend, man, blows me away.
I know, right?
Congratulations.
Like my mom was even like, how did you pull this off?
I think she's blind.
Well, and then my parents met her, and she's got 2 little boys, met her and the 2 little boys this weekend. And my mom, even, everything I told her, she walked away just going, oh my gosh, she has just a brightness to her. There's a sparkle in her eyes. The smile is contagious, like all these things. She still looked at me and she was like, have you been lying to her? Like, what's going
See,
on?
here's the problem. Everybody's going to hate the both of you
Why?
because you're already larger than life and you got this big personality and
well.
fun and funny. And then you're going to have her on top of that. So, I mean, you guys are going to be the envy of all the other parents at the, school or wherever.
I tell you what, I've never dated. I've been married a couple times. I've never dated or been married to someone that is more encouraging than she has been. It's just a whole different world. And big shout out to Sarah. I appreciate you. Thank you.
That's amazing.
John says you got a little sparkle in your eye.
That's the glasses.
Yeah.
It's the glasses.
So, hey, listen, everybody that sent the messages in, thanks for the messages. We're a little behind and I'm a little behind. So I haven't put them all on the screen and then talked about them. But
so to let you guys know how bad it was, Lee and I talk every day, usually once, maybe twice a day. I've talked to him once on the phone since we've been back from Mountain West.
Yeah.
And I'm somebody that he can talk to on the phone and be like, dude, I feel like dog shit. And, just really tell me how it is. And he didn't have the strength or energy to do that. There was times it would be like 5 text messages. And I finally would be like, are you dead?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, no, I'm alive. Like he'd finally be like, no, I'm alive. Sorry, I can barely keep my head up kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I actually had to have my wife send messages to people like Justin from 23-0.
Yeah.
I had to have her send him a text message. And I sent one to Ryan at CB Adventure and some others, but it was I ain't gonna lie, I've had a lot more fun doing a lot of other things like snowboarding and breaking both my ankles. Was a whole lot better.
crashing planes.
Crashing airplanes was a whole lot more
Yeah.
more fun.
Well, dude, you missed out. So I know Levi had an experience. You were there Saturday, right? At the Mountain West.
Yeah, Brian and we were there for just Saturday.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, we've been to Expo East together, and I think we greatly underestimated the size of this event. I mean, it was much larger than we were expecting.
Yeah. I tell you what, nothing pissed me off more than we were going up from Denver. So we were going from Denver to Loveland, and Lee goes, "Okay, up here we're going to turn right," and I went, "What?" But the mountains are to the left. Like I had no clue really where we were going. I was so pissed off. It wasn't even funny. We couldn't see the mountains, because it was kind of in a bowl a little bit, which didn't help with the wind. You would thought that would have helped with the wind. And you don't even know what we're talking about because that was Thursday night craziness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were definitely out of the wind. I did get to experience the heat and the dust, which, which is weird. Even being in Colorado, you don't expect it to be like that, this late in the year. It was hot.
Yeah, it sucked going to Colorado and there being a heat wave.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my luck. It'd be like going to the islands and it being cold, or rainy.
That wind was gnarly. And it took
that wind was stronger than and so Levi, you're from Oklahoma. You're from Claremore, right?
Correct. Yes.
So you know about Oklahoma wind. It was worse than Oklahoma wind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Living in Kansas, I lived in Kansas for 12 years, which I got to experience that wind as well.
Oh yeah.
And every once in a while, man, just you get those days up here that are just great when it comes to wind. I mean, there's nothing else to say.
Man,
Lee, did you not know he was from Claremore, right next door to you?
He's a homie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that until we talked earlier today.
Yeah.
I graduated from Claremore High School.
Nice.
You know what's crazy is when that wind came through. Well, that was Friday night, wasn't it? The wind Friday night, Michael.
The wind was Thursday night.
Thursday. Okay, was it Thursday night?
It was Thursday night because most everybody was set up.
Yeah, and Friday morning people came in, and I mean their stuff was just destroyed. The people who
some people set their stuff up and left.
Those
in a hotel
easy
or
tents, and they were at the
gone.
hotel. Yeah, it was just
there were so many easy up tents in the dumpsters.
Yes, when we left there, they were piling them in the dumpsters. That's exactly right. I forgot about that.
So we show up. I'm going to give everybody kind of the rundown real quick of the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just real fast. So we get there Wednesday. We kind of start getting the trailer set up to where we want. The spot wasn't as big as we thought it was going to be, which was good that we didn't have the 2 with us. The OP2 was supposed to be there, but it didn't make it. And then your truck didn't get to be in the display, which was disappointing. But the spots were a little small, we felt. We got those set up, and then Thursday we just kind of tidied up some things, and Paul with Opus was there, so I got to meet him and talk to him and kind of get his passion for it, which was amazing. And then Thursday night, the wind was ridiculous. And Lee and I were sitting there, and I was looking at the clouds, and they were kind of making that like kind of curved shape. And I was like, uh-oh, it's about to get windy. And it wasn't, 15 minutes later?
Man, it kicked up. And it was on.
My gosh. It was
on.
Craziness. It didn't really ever rain. I mean, there was a little bit of sprinkle, but there was lightning in the distance and all that kind of stuff. But, we tied everything down, and everybody else was freaking out tying stuff down. And I think it was Wednesday night that the guy made pizza for us, I think.
How many days were you guys out there?
Oh, dude, we were out there forever.
we got there
Wednesday, and then we ended up staying in a hotel room on Sunday.
Oh my goodness!
And then Lee was there for a good lot. 2-3 days longer after I left.
I think I made it home Thursday.
You think.
I think it was Thursday I made it home.
It's so awesome.
Kind of a blur.
And I tell you, if you go to this, if anybody's going to go to the event next year, make sure that you go on Friday, because it was still packed, but it wasn't like Saturday. And you made a good point, Levi, when we were talking earlier, that even though there was a ton of people there, it wasn't like you couldn't walk through the place and see stuff. You just might not have gotten to really talk to as many people as you'd like to, because every booth was, 5 people deep, and, at least 5 people deep.
Well, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, it was so spread out that the amount of people that were there weren't all bunched up in one spot.
Right.
But every booth we went to talk to a vendor or talk to somebody we're trying, even Justin from 23-0, it took us 20 minutes to wait in line just to speak to, one of our vendors. And that was ridiculous. Like, I mean, nothing great for the Overland Expo, but man, it was tough. And like you said, you were trying to see the guy from Venture Forward.
Yeah, Chris with Venture Forward. And I just kind of was like,
I did have a conversation with him.
There was always 10 people deep.
Yep.
I did actually get to talk to him.
Lifestyle Overland had people deep. Just everywhere we went. I don't know if you guys saw that Ford Expedition with the $30,000 rooftop tent on it.
Oh yeah.
But we went by there.
Red tail. Yeah.
So we went by there like 3 times, and that thing was just packed every time.
Yeah, we're gonna get to have them on the show, and kind of the way you look at that, because it starts at 19,000, and goes up from there, and it's basically like having a teardrop trailer on top of your truck.
Correct. I mean, it had heat, power, air, solar, everything built into it. Already had
hard-sided. Yeah. And what was
was
amazing that I didn't know previous, because we had looked at them right when they came out. I had seen something posted on social media, and we talked about it on the show. And we were like, $25,000 rooftop tent, whatever. But then you go look at it and you're like, I don't know. That's pretty damn cool. It's still expensive. And they know it. It's definitely for a certain market. Air conditioning as well. But what was so cool is that they even thought about, if you have a sunroof, there's a hatch that you can open up to get into your vehicle. That was the coolest thing.
It was.
Right.
And they did the thing that I've been yelling and screaming about wedge tents and hard-sided tents since day one. They had one of the fans cut out on the top.
Yeah,
and I was like,
fan, I think is what that's
why
called.
haven't we been doing this to all of them before that?
Yeah, you want to talk about your condensation fix right there. Like,
and I think
fans in there.
I think, although not everybody is going to buy this, but it's going to be one of the items that leapfrogs the rooftop tent industry and makes it better, and they'll be affordable at some point they'll be more affordable. Other people will be doing them. There'll be competition, all that kind of stuff. But he comes from Earth Roamer, so he worked at Earth Roamer before. So
and a lot of that comes from the carbon fiber. That shit's expensive.
Yeah.
So the carbon fiber is there to make up for all the other stuff that's on it. And the weight reduction. So I mean, it's a give and take. It's just like building airplanes out of carbon fiber. You could do it, but you might as well just go out and buy a damn jet, instead of.
Chad wants to put a fan on mine.
There you go.
You know what? That's totally fine. We can cook the shit out of that one. We can suck her up like crazy.
That was a freebie.
Yeah. That was a kind of a birthday Christmas for like next 20 years.
Let me ask this question, Michael. Now, I obviously did not get to go around to the whole expo because, quite frankly, I don't even remember half the freaking expo. What was your favorite thing you saw there?
Oh, Adam Glick by far.
I knew it. I knew that's. I just, for some reason, I kept saying it's going to be Adam.
Okay.
Tell us real quick.
Let me back to there was two. I'll start with Adam. So I never say it right. Mishmeisher. The knives. It's a folding chef knife set.
It's pretty badass.
And it comes with a cutting board. I had gotten mine from Overland Cookware, but I got the 3-piece because he didn't have the 6-piece. And so Lee had said, hey, the knife company is there. He didn't know Adam was there. And Adam's he's a chef. And he's got like over 300 followers on Instagram. Like, the dude's awesome. He's a fisherman. He's a chef. He's like all these things. He lives this.
Is that the Overland Eats guy, or who's this?
No, it's Chef Adam Glick is how you want to find him on Instagram. And he's the real deal. So I'd already seen videos about him because I'd gotten the knife set and I wanted to know a little bit about it. But it wasn't a complete knife set. So Lee tells me Friday, hey, they're here. Like Friday at 4:45 or something like that. And the show ends at 5. And he goes, you need to go and see if they can, if they have what you need to finish out your set. And I was like, well, I'll talk to him tomorrow. He was like, no, you need to go now. So I went and got my knife set. I went over there. There's nobody there. And I throw it down on the table. And I was like, I got the 3-piece. I need to deck this thing out. So he says, oh, man, you're like part of the family because you already have one. This is so cool. And he was excited about that. And I didn't know who this guy was because he had a hat on and I wasn't recognizing him at first. And we start talking and he was like, well, what do you want to get it fitted with? There's a couple different options. And then I realized that's Adam Glick. Like Mishmeisher is the knife company. And it's like one of the top 2 chef knife companies in the world. And Adam Glick it's this series because he does the camping stuff and the fishing stuff and all that kind of thing. So it's a series that they use his celebrity to push these knives. I looked at him and was like, are you Adam? He was like, yeah. And he was kind of surprised that I recognized him. And then I was just like, dude, I've seen your videos. I've seen like all this stuff. So he's going to come on the show. He started liking my post on Instagram, which, I'm being a geek about. But the other thing that happened was we were sitting there Saturday, or was it Friday? When did Brad pull in? Did he pull in Friday, I guess? I guess it was Friday.
Yeah, Friday afternoon. So
Brad with Trail Recon and Josh with SoCal Expeditions pulls in. And they park right in front of Lee and I, where we're camped at. And like so
when we got out of our tents, our tents, and they were right there.
Yeah. So I walked by, and of course, we got to interview him at the More Expo for like 15 minutes. And I walked by, and I was just going to be funny and say, hey, they'll just let anybody camp near us now. And he was just like, hey, Michael, how's it going? And I was like, what just happened? What in the world just happened? And so I had a blast with him, got to hang out with him quite a bit. His wife is the funniest person. Man. Oh my gosh. She showed me a picture of Brad probably in his 20s standing next to a Ford Tempo, and he's got like a flat top military, like all. It was pretty. She wouldn't let me take a picture of it, but she had it. She had it folded up in her purse. How cute is that?
Yeah.
She carries this around with her, and
That's awesome.
had a blast with Josh. Just it was just amazing that we got to park right there, or that they parked right next to us and camped, and we got to just spend time with them, just like normal camp people. It was just fun. Badass Burnett was parked next to us. She was helping Adam with Step 22. Those of you not familiar, go check her out. She just started going full time in the last 3 months, I think 2-3 months.
And I would point out her Toyota is one of the best ones I've seen in a long time.
No,
that thing is
man.
nice.
And she's got the matching trailer with a motocross bike in the back. So she rides motocross too.
Yeah, and she's got, I thought it was Go Fast camper at first, and I can't remember what brand it is. But it's that same kind of with the sides, and you can stand up in it and all that kind of stuff.
Is it an AT? It could be an AT Habitat.
No, it's not. It's a different one. I wasn't familiar.
It looks
with.
a lot like the Go Fast. Anyway, yes, yeah. So what was the other one then? You said Adam. Who was the other?
Brad.
Oh, Brad. Okay.
Brad with Trail Recon.
Yeah.
I think you still got fog brain, dude.
Yeah, no kidding. So
it sucks that Marco wasn't there to cook food for us.
No kidding.
But I gave him a hard time about not being there. So
is her 10 a FSR?
I'm not going to remember. I don't. And it seems like it began with an L.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But anyway, so I remember Friday a little most.
Do you remember the pizza that the guy in the troopy made? Oh my
Holy
gosh.
crap! I never had pizza like that.
Y'all had a totally different experience than I did. We got there, like died of heat stroke, and then left.
That's during the day, that's what it felt like.
Right.
I think one of the things that, and I know this is just me, because anyway. GMC had the AT4 Overland edition truck that they built up. Right next to the EV Hummer, which I didn't give two shits about the EV Hummer, but that AT4 Overlander edition truck, which was the comparable to the Colorado that I have, it was nice. My God,
it was really nice.
Did you notice the fenders on that thing had LED lights built into it?
Yes, and did you see those seats in that thing?
Yeah. Oh man, that thing is sick.
Oh man, I don't know about any of y'all listening, but if you have a vehicle that has cooling or chilling seats that blow the cool air, that shit is orgasmic. I'm telling you right now. Driving the Raptor, if I hit the seats on the Raptor, I don't know what it is, but I start going faster. It's like my foot goes harder on the accelerator because I'm like, oh God, this is nice.
Yeah, it makes your toes curl. So
yeah, something like that.
I'm
surprised start driving around
now.
with pants on.
Yeah. I'm surprised now with what's come out recently with the Silverado ZR2 that they didn't have a ZR2 there. The full size Silverado. I'm a little surprised about that now.
Here's my other thing that was probably one of my favorite parts of the expo. And I know it sounds like a cheeseball thing to say, but I get a phone call Friday. Yeah, Friday. And a text message from Chad at Overland Attic, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm bringing the G up to have some work done. There's something going on or whatever." And I'm like, "Dude, you're gonna be here?" And so Chad came and hung out with us, and we had a ball. Michael made him drink beer.
Oh yeah,
and
I got Chad a little drunk.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
He stayed in the OP4 that was set up because
he slept in the 4
because the G-Wagon was at the shop.
Yeah,
dude, he thought he was getting a new engine. Like he was excited.
Put the kibosh on that.
He was so excited because he was going to upgrade the engine, get the turbo, like all that. Oh, there he is, right there, Blue Moon. Yep, Michael made me drink. Yep, I did. And yeah, it didn't need. Well, it'll need a motor at some point, but it didn't need that to go home. So I thought he should fib to his wife a little bit, but Chad's just a good dude and didn't. So anyway, so that was kind of what I liked about it. Levi, what did you What was the product that you saw that you were like, wow?
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily a product. I'm kind of I don't know, a lush for off the wall rigs. All right. Like rigs that you don't see every day on the trail.
Like
the Toyota
325,000
FJ,
the
not necessarily
325,000?
those.
Yeah.
No, not like, but that extended Land Cruiser that was at the Step 22 booth was by far the best one on the.
Yeah, the 70 series
And
with
then-
the Maltec on the back. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that thing was ridiculous. And then I don't know if you noticed the Subaru Forester on 35s, the green one at the Torque booth.
Oh yeah, how did you not see that one?
Yeah,
it was green.
Yeah, and then there was the Porsche Cayenne.
Yep.
I mean, there was so many rigs out there that just stood out. And then I saw so many Ford Rangers that we hadn't in the parking lot. That, you don't see a whole lot of them on a day-to-day basis, but when you put them all together like that, you really start seeing the potential in that truck. And some of the build outs that we saw just in the parking lot on the way in, there's so many Rangers and vans. I saw a all-wheel drive Astro van in the parking lot. It was one of the best minivans I've ever seen in my life.
Really? Did you get any pictures?
Oh
of
man,
them?
I did. Brian and I both kick ourselves in the butt.
I'm the same
we
way.
never take.
Yeah,
pictures.
Lee and I talk about it all the time. We experience it and we forget to document it.
Yeah, and that's.
Yeah.
I think I got like 4 photos. The whole thing. But there was some new products out there. That
There's a shit ton of big trucks, like
man,
the
there was a bunch.
Unimogs and all of that stuff. That was just crazy.
So I don't know. Did you see the Turtleback's new trailer? The family tent.
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard the retail price on that thing. He was trying to put it at right at $20,000, which in the Turtleback level, with Turtleback level, that's actually affordable.
But have you watched them put that thing up? It takes a small army.
Yeah. He said it takes him about 30 to 45 minutes by himself.
I'm out.
But if you're base camping, man, that thing was a cabin.
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
If you're base camping out of Colorado.
If you're base camping, go get you an Opus. It's a lot easier and a lot more room. No, that thing is really cool looking. You're right. But I watched them set it up in Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was 5 or 6 of them trying, getting it set up. And it took them, I think, a good 30 minutes.
With 6 of them.
But when I walked in that thing, I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's like being in summer camp again. I mean, it is.
It reminds me of a trapper tent. I mean, it's just anyway. It was really neat.
That and there were so many companies. And just another thing, just kind of touching base with some companies that we already deal with on a daily basis, like 230. Talking to Justin, he had 20 new products out there. From bags and organization stuff and going over the equip stuff and looking at them and looking at all their new battery packs and things like that. And it was Step 22 was another one. We've had an account with Step 22 for a while. We just haven't done the buying because we didn't know really what we wanted. We'd never been able to see it. And
they're awesome.
You don't even need to see it. If he makes it, buy it. That's all I'm telling you right now. If he makes it, buy it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, going into the event, Brian and I, we took the long way. It took us 6 hours to go from Colorado Springs to Loveland, Colorado. So we went and did the sightseeing tours through the mountains. We left here and went up towards Woodland Park through Rampart Range. And
how was your Saturday morning, Friday night? How was that?
Yeah. So
you had a visitor, didn't you?
Yeah, we got in late Friday night and we stayed at a little campsite in Decker and just about 30 minutes outside of Loveland. Got up the next morning. We were getting ready for the event and made coffee and breakfast. And then next thing I know, right outside of our camp, there were like trees going wild. And I mean, surely that wasn't the only trees getting hit by the wind at the time. So we kind of sat there and stared at it. And I asked Brian, I was like, what do you think that is? And he's like, it's probably a deer or an elk just tearing up those brush.
Yeah.
And, man, we sat there and watched it for about good 10, 15 minutes. Didn't think anything of it. And out come a little black bear 30 feet from our tent, just hanging
Nice.
out. So the problem was we were only going to be bringing one vehicle into town, and mine was the one that was going to have to stay behind.
Yours was the one that was going to get.
Yeah, so man, I'm telling you, it was
That bear
a
was
couple
going
of
to
extra.
molest your vehicle. Yeah.
There were a few extra minutes there spent making sure everything was put away well and no food was out, and I didn't have a trash roost stuck to my back tire or anything like that. So it was definitely one of those things that
Sounds like you got a bear in there with you.
I know, right? Raya. That's my dog. Anyway, but I've been to Colorado 15, 20 times. And
Brian says he squirted mustard on your tires.
That's too funny.
I don't doubt it. But
Come back with 4 flat tires.
Yeah, we hardly ever see bear. I mean, and when it is, it's from a car, and we're driving through the mountains or something. You see a bear on the side of the road. Oh, there's a bear. We've never experienced one in our camp like that before. Not that close. And I'm talking 30, 40 nights in the mountains. We've never really had that issue.
So you're in Colorado Springs, right?
Yep.
Okay, so my aunt lives in Monument, but my cousins live in Longmont. And I had a black bear scratching his back underneath the back of the Opus one day. The next night, I woke up with a mountain lion pacing, stalking me.
Oh, man.
And making the most god-awful sounds. I mean, it even woke up my cousin that was in her and her husband and kids all woke up in the house. So I left there, went to Wyoming, and then ended up having grizzlies all over the place.
Oh, yeah. I don't think
it's just the way Lee smells. That's
what
it is.
Yes.
It's the odor.
Well, they're going to be smelling some burning gunpowder if they're not careful.
Some hot peppers and the bear spray.
No, I don't even mess with the bear spray. I got to carry a 50
that bear
cal.
spray's nothing. I've had it sprayed in my face. It was nothing.
Oh goodness, I've been OC sprayed numerous times. I can tell you, if it was me, I wouldn't want to try to hurt nobody.
Yeah, well, it was.
Yeah, that is.
Mine
funny.
was a joke. Yeah.
What do you mean it was a joke? That was
it wasn't real bear spray. It was
Have you ever seen bear mace?
I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean it work. Yeah, and it works off a Scoville unit, right? So it's really hot and spicy, right? Yeah. You want to see how it works?
No.
You sure?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Lee, should we show him how it works?
No, I'm good.
This is a trainer, okay? Wow. So I wouldn't do that otherwise, but it's Lee tempted me to do that, and I apologize.
Dude, my eyes itched for a good hour after that.
It was just water and air.
Well, I know, but it was just the speed.
I know.
My eyes were wide open when he did it because I was like, no, I don't want to do this.
I keep that one.
I don't want to do this.
I keep that one in queue for a good laugh every
Dude,
now
it's
and
funny. It's funny. I'm really shocked that one hasn't gone like super viral. Like something crazy. I probably need to get that video and put it on my TikTok.
Right.
Did either of you guys see the inflatable kayaks?
I gotta say, I'm gonna be a hard no on those.
So, if you walk to the bathroom over like past whichever way it was.
Well, I saw them. They were on the other side of the road. Yeah.
I was impressed. I mean, I've been.
Here's the problem: when you go to paddle, the whole boat moves because it doesn't have a thing down the bottom.
That's called a keel.
Sure.
And you're right. Some of those inflatable,
right?
They're not really kayaks; they're rafts.
Yeah, pack rafts.
But they did have some actual kayaks that had somewhat of a keel down the middle of the bottom, and I personally think that they would probably track a lot better. But if you've watched Chris from Venture
his
Forward,
goes like,
yeah. So his is a pack raft or pack. Is it a pack raft or is that what they call it? Anyway,
pack raft.
I think if you inflate them and look at them from a overhead view, they look like a vagina. But anyway, these were like real kayaks.
So don't get a pink one.
Yeah, don't get a pink one. Anyway, so yeah, that was one of the things I could think of. But now, Levi, weren't you working a booth or gonna work a booth, a tire?
So yeah, we were supposed to go up there with General Tire. General Tire said they were going to be the title sponsor for a couple of those, and we've been working with General Tire for a few years now. And due to COVID and stuff, General Tire is owned by Continental, which is their parent company.
Yeah.
with COVID, they've pulled out of dang near every event. Their marketing team can't basically get out and do anything just because of the corporation liabilities. So they pulled out of all the expos, Overland expos, because they just can't go anywhere.
Damn.
So yeah, so which sucks is because we'd already planned this big trip and to go up there and had all the time off and and we definitely want to support the companies that support us as much as we can. So we almost feel bad whenever they don't have anything going on and they're still, sending us tires and stuff and having us test stuff out. So, it's one of those things that we want to be a part of it just as bad as they want to be a part of it. And, but we were still able to make the trip.
Well, and that's also a good point. I wasn't real sure how the attendance was going to be, how the sponsors were going to show, the vendors were going to be, because of the COVID stuff going on still. And I got to say, I was pretty surprised because there were a crap ton of vendors and there was even more people there, and there weren't really that many people wearing masks.
Right.
I mean, it was, but it's in the sunlight, it's outdoors, all that kind of stuff. So
we had them in our pockets because we didn't know what to expect, especially in Colorado. You know what I mean? Like it's not. The most,
Lee and I don't travel with masks. We get kicked out of cities.
All right. Well, I figured. I mean, we just had them in our pockets just in case when we showed up. They didn't put anything out, but I wasn't going to drive all the way out there and not be able to walk in the door. But the amount of people that I saw with masks were non-existent. I mean, I can't remember anybody that I saw with a mask on. Honestly,
it'd have to be 1%. Like maybe.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and that's fine and dandy. I mean, I don't know what how you feel about it, and I haven't really even got into it, but
this is how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, but in the state of Colorado, they're still pretty harsh. I mean, my kids are in cyber school right now.
That's what I was surprised about, was that Colorado didn't have more mandates or more regulations or whatever for that expo. Like there was so much that Chris had to do for the More Expo. Of course, that was also, February
in the heat of it.
But there were so many things they had to do.
I bet the state underestimated the amount of people that are going to show up at that event.
Did you hear? So a few weeks before Mountain West, they had a tiny home show. They had 30 to 35,000 people show up, and it wasn't even advertised in the local area.
That's crazy.
They only had 6 tiny homes there. Can you imagine being 35,000, one of the 35,000 people, and there are only 6 homes that we're all trying to look at?
I bet they were butts to nuts.
Oh, I'd be so pissed off.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Craziness.
No, Michael and I usually, I do. I usually get kicked out.
I didn't get kicked out. You were not allowed in Cloudcroft ever again.
I'm banned from the Family Dollar in Cloudcroft, New Mexico.
Well, and when we did the Enchanted Rockies trip, June of last year, it wasn't even on our radar to have masks with us. Right. So we drive into New Mexico and it says that masks are mandatory, and we all 11 vehicles. Did anybody bring any masks? No. Like, why would we have masks? Like, right. We live in Oklahoma. We don't put up with that crap. So it was funny. But going back to Mountain West, I was surprised that there wasn't more of a mask thing going on, because it was Colorado and the number of people that were going to be there and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I wish there was more of were smaller items. It seems like the majority of the stuff there was your high dollar, big ticket kind of stuff at the expo. It would have been nice to see more smaller.
Yeah. And things. Brian and I went there solely to look at 2 things: smaller carryout items for our store, mm-hmm. and trailers. We've been trying for a few months to get a trailer brand up there in Kansas City, but I got one for you.
I got 2 for you.
Seriously. Opus. I can't get Opus because Adventure already got them.
No, somebody else. But I seriously, I got 2 I can get you hooked up with.
Okay. All right. Well, we're trying to get something up there, but what we saw was like Dead Man had a great booth. Dead Man Anchor, they had product there. They were selling product, and it was great. Step 22 selling product, handing out product like crazy.
Dude, they killed it. He said they killed it.
He's a freaking bag pimp. Is
right.
What he
I mean,
is.
even the Overland Gear guy. The Overland Gear guy was selling stuff, but even way up on the hill where Argus or not Argus, Zargus boxes, 67 design, those guys were, that's what a lot of people go to these shows for, is because they can't put their hands on stuff and buy it anywhere around their local area. I mean, hundreds to 2 to 3. We've had customers from South Dakota that drive down to Kansas City to pick up, $100 worth of parts because they can't put hands on the stuff,
and touchy feely.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that's why the Rendezvous and the More event do really well when it comes to driving in that population, is because there's a lot of small stuff there.
There's a lot of retail going on. It felt like the expo was more of a SEMA type show for overlanding.
Yeah, and if
people showing off the newest thing and innovations and stuff not released yet, that kind of stuff.
And if you go, Overland East had a lot of that small stuff. I mean, there was a whole row of 10 by 10, booths at Overland East last year or year before last, before COVID. But there was so much small retail things and new innovative stuff that wasn't really in the Overland market, as a big picture item. But there was a lot of like lights and Princeton Tech lights and, you name it, all these little small companies were there. Expo Mountain West didn't have that population of small companies. And I don't know if that's because of the price of the booths have gone up so high.
I would imagine.
But yeah, I mean, you're talking these big ticket items, you know what I mean? That I would love to go up there and set up a booth and sell stuff, but I'm not going to pay $3,000-$4,000 for a booth, hoping to, do that kind of stuff.
Well, I think you kind of nailed it when you talked about More and its success, and I agree. At More, you find a lot more small retail items. Michael and I had a great experience even during Moore's. We were doing an interview with Ryan from CB Adventure. And when we were doing the interviews, which I have no idea why you guys weren't on, but we'll address that next year. We asked everybody to bring over a couple items with them to put up and display. Literally, while we were doing the interview, some people saw it, got the notification on their watch. They ended up seeing it, then walked by and saw the actual product while Ryan was doing the talking, and went to his booth and bought it.
Yeah. I mean,
Ryan was totally blown away. He's like,
that's awesome.
I don't know what to say.
Well, and that's where, and obviously we didn't get to do the live stuff like we wanted to. Lee was just not able to even, help me get the stuff out to figure out how to put it together, because he's the tech guy.
Brian's trying to call me out. I seriously don't know why. I don't even know if we made it to your booth. I mean, I was going around trying to catch people at booths, but damn, Brian, I'll make it up to you.
That's funny.
Yeah, we had,
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Sorry. We had a really good turnout last year at More with that, there. And that's what he's calling you out for. He's like, yeah, all right, you did. But, we had the best looking rig out there, and I give Brian's crap because I went and bought an old Wagoneer and put wheels and tires on it, lifted it, and built out the rear end, threw a rack on it, and it was $10,000 car, and he's got a $17,000 or $70,000 Jeep outfitted over here next to it, and people would just walk right past that rig to come look at the wagon
and go straight to the yours. Yeah, no, I remember the rig being there. Yeah, yeah. In fact, that's where I got Brad kind of to perk up, because I had asked him about the Chief that he had, from Trail Recon, and he was, and that's all he wanted to talk about after that. And I even mentioned it while he was, with us, and, he doesn't have that one anymore. He's got a different one, and he's excited about that. I think we need to start a samurai group. I think we need to get a bunch of people together and get some samurais and do weekend trips in samurais.
Oh man. You know what I call, all right. I got to explain this because I thought about this today. All right. So we bought a 93 Isuzu Trooper.
Oh dude, I'm in love. I love them.
We bought it for my 16-year-old son. And, it's 6-cylinder, Dana 44s, independent suspension, and it's awesome. Right. And then we have a sort of outfitted Subaru Outback. That's my commuter right now. Front runner rack. We put the 23-0 tent, and I call them day packs. Like they're great for these little one night or little day trips to the mountains or whatever. And I think a Samurai would be freaking awesome.
Oh, it'd be like that or a Bronco 2.
Oh, something old and just gross. Yeah, absolutely.
25 years old, so you could be in the 25-year-old club, and that thing. You
could buy it for $3,000, in decent shape.
Yeah,
and literally day pack out of it. I mean, you wouldn't go and do your 2-week or 1 month living out of the back of a Bronco 2 by any means.
But hold on, let's talk about this. Why not? Because you'll do the Appalachian Trail with just a backpack on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's just a whole different kind of Yeah, not me. It's a whole different thing.
There are people out there that do the Appalachian Trail with just a backpack on.
Yeah.
And then there's overlanders that won't do that.
Yeah, I'm past that. My knees won't let me do that.
The problem is, it's not that you don't think it's a neat idea to do it. The problem is that we're at a point in our age and weight,
right,
that we
can't
do it.
Well, it's just like the tat on a motorcycle. Like there's ways to really, there's really ways to minimize, the adventure, but if you try to experience that adventure with your whole family, and my family, they would last one day out of a Samurai. I promise you. Like,
well, it would have to be a one-person trip.
Oh, it would be a solo.
I don't even know if you could bring a dog with you.
No, but it would still be a damn good time. Like,
it'd be so much, and those things can go anywhere. I mean, it's just like, and if they can't, you just pick it up and move it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we like Brian said, we were up on I can't remember
the Samurai, the original side by side.
Yeah, we were up on Engineers Pass, and there was a Cal Mini Samurai coming down the pass on like 35s, just squeaking the whole way, bouncing off these rocks. And I bet he was doing 40 miles an hour down the trail. And I thought, Jesus, dude, that looks fun. Like that. I could get down with that. But that, we for 20 years I owned rock crawlers. So there's still that fine line between hauling too much weight where you can't go anywhere, you know what I mean, in my Jeep, or minimalizing everything and building out a freaking tracker or a troop or Samurai and go pound around in Arkansas mountains for a weekend like that.
Yeah. Hey, look what Grant did with that TJ he had.
Yeah.
That old TJ.
Yeah.
I mean, he turned it into probably one of the most known TJs on the internet, and he camped and wheeled the hell out of it. So, that'd be great. Okay.
Right.
We got we're almost running up on 9
Yeah,
o'clock.
we
got to talk about an event.
Yeah, you've got something coming up, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us what's going on.
So those of y'all that know, we've been around for a little while. We just never really had a legitimate shop. We have a legitimate shop now in Lenexa, Kansas, and we're doing our grand opening this Saturday.
You got camping?
So I will be there. Sure, yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind camping in the middle of Lenexa.
We've done worse.
Yeah, I'll probably be camping there
worse.
actually.
I got this new Alucab canopy camper.
Yeah, come on. I'll camp with you.
You'll camp with me? All right.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about it already. I think my son's going to camp. We'll be down there Friday night sitting in the parking lot.
Thinking about coming up.
Well, you should. Anyway, so we have food trucks. We have vendors decked. WeBoost. A couple vendors are coming out to kind of explain some of their stuff. WeBoost is working on new products. and they're going to be out there showing off their stuff and explaining to people how it works, because I can't. So we brought in the experts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what else we got? We got giveaways. We're doing door prize giveaways every hour on the hour. We actually have more door prizes than we do hours, so we'll probably be giving away quite a bit of stuff. Yeah, we got a lot of new product coming in daily. We just had a big shipment in today for new products. We've been ordering for weeks, getting ready for this event.
Awesome. So if you're planning on going to West, you need to stop by Overland Essentials and get fully kitted out.
Yep.
Because it sounds like he's going to have stuff. And
Yep.
then that way, when you go to West, you have stuff and you can relax and just have a good time. See, I think it works out.
And we'll let you camp in the parking lot.
There you go.
With me.
Hey, I will tell you, one of the things I didn't mention about Mountain West that blew my mind was Dometic. Dometic had a lot of new products there.
I actually wrote some notes down to talk about Dometic.
They're killing it right now.
So I went to Outdoor Retailer in Denver. They won.
I want to go next year. I'm coming up.
Oh, you should. Go. It's great. It's an awesome event. They won Best in Show for their. They won Best in Show for their water spout. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
the electric water.
Super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It has a magnet to it, so you
can one.
And you can just put the hose to it, but you can stick that magnet on anything.
Anything metal. It's not anything. You're not going to take a shower out of it, but I mean,
wash your hands real quick or rinse a plate or something. Yeah, it's perfect.
And it's fast and it's tapped. You just tap it and it goes off.
Yeah,
tap it, comes off. It's like my living room or my kitchen.
Well, and they've got the bench, the foldable bench, and the coffee table, all the different stuff that they've got coming out.
They're going to have hard storage, like the aluminum boxes, soft storage. Man, they're and they own Front Runner.
Hey, hold on.
Oh Lord. So give us the times in all.
Oh yeah. Noon to 5, 12 to 5 is when we'll be out there. We'll be there early and we'll be there late. So if you guys, run late or run early, by all means come by.
All right. You'll be there Friday?
I'll be there Friday. Yep.
Look what I scored.
Oh, very nice.
One of their hats.
Those are ugliest.
That's the limited edition hat too.
Oh yeah, it was a big deal. Yeah,
I got one.
And I both got one. Yeah,
I got one somewhere in a bag. I don't know how I got it.
Chad gave it to you because
did he?
Chad got two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Only thing I scored a bunch of stuff, but I got Zargus shirts and Front Runner hats and patches and all kinds of good stuff. But
see, and that's the thing that makes me so mad is that I didn't know Zargus was there, 67 Designs, any of those things. So I mean, literally, I have watched every video I could find that people have put out, and that's how I.
It's all the same shit. That's the problem.
No,
it's like you remember the college days when you go to a party.
The same thing.
You remember those college days when you go to a party and you drink too much, and then you got to ask your friends what happened?
What happened?
That's what Lee's going through.
That's what Lee's going through right now.
Has anybody got pictures? Because if you got pictures, we need to talk.
No. I tell you what, Saturday night, we let Lee was sleeping, and he sent me a message at like 2:00 in the morning. Dude, I guess there were people somewhere else in the camp that were like, shut the fuck up! Go to bed.
They were right next to me, and of course Michael is larger than life. We all know this, and he's loud, like holy shit, he's loud. And on the other side of my rig, facing the north side, I could hear people off in the distance going, "Shut the fuck up! Go to bed."
It's the last day. Vendors were kind of hanging out.
I'm like, oh,
there was a pretty famous, pretty well known YouTuber, not Brad. Let me just clarify, it was not Brad.
Right.
That might have been on mushrooms while we were sitting around the campfire. Like he just shows up and sits down with us, and we're like, "What's happening?" You just came out of nowhere. And then he was like, dude, I just took a handful of mushrooms. We're like, what? It was the craziest night. It was so much fun though.
Okay, we got to get back to the event.
Sorry.
So
Saturday, I get distracted.
Saturday, I know it's like
Saturday from 12 to 5.
Give us the address.
14122 West 107th. Just literally, you can Google us. We're on Google, Facebook, Instagram. Give us a call, shoot us a message, do whatever you need to.
Everything is under Overland Essentials.
The Overland Essentials.
The Overland Essentials. Okay.
Yeah, if you Google Overland,
did I say Underland? I think I said Underland.
No,
maybe.
You said Overland.
Did I say Overland?
You did. You said it.
Lee's fog brain's getting to me. That's what's going on.
Thanks.
Yeah, the Overland Essentials, and come out and see us. 1 to 6.
Brian says 1 to 6, not 1 to 5.
I'm on Colorado time, so it's noon to 5 here.
So you're driving out. You're driving out.
Yeah, we're driving out Friday morning. We're gonna be we're the Jeep's already in Kansas City, and we're gonna bring out the Subaru and
dude.
so
all I can tell you is the moment that you leave Denver heading east, I almost would rather slip my wrists than to drive across that.
You got to go south. Go south. Like drive through Pueblo.
I've done it every way you can imagine.
We did. We went through Pueblo. What road was that we went through? What
I can't. I can't remember, but it drops south.
Lee, I'm asking Lee what highway that was we were on.
I don't remember.
We went through some town where it said like this is where the massacre of something happened.
Yeah,
and we were like,
oh yeah.
What?
And then we passed by another. We passed by. It was a little bitty town. We passed by this place that had 4 Unimogs sitting outside that were getting restored.
Right over the border. I can't remember.
Yeah.
They had a
Animus?
Jeep.
Is it Animus?
I don't even remember seeing a sign.
Animus.
I don't know.
Or a door.
Past it, Michael.
It was just the garage door, and I was like, "Hey, should we turn around?"
Hey, I've turned around twice trying to catch that guy.
Did you really? Yeah.
Yeah. There's some sweet rigs out there.
And then there's that little town that has all the train stuff that I thought was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was just train craft everywhere.
If you drop south, it's better than driving I-70 the whole way because there's something to look at. I-70 will literally
I-70 puts you to. That's the way I came home. Oh,
it's miserable.
Funny thing is, that's the way I came home, but I don't remember driving home. I literally got home.
So I didn't have trailer lights. We can say it now. I didn't have trailer lights, and I'm pulling that Opus. Like we just weren't even thinking. Like Lee was like, "I got everything you need," and we crawl under my truck, and we're like, we don't even know where to connect anything." And ends up
pin connector.
That it was just 2 little clips. It was super easy. When I got home, I had lights within 2 minutes. But I had stopped by. There's a trailer place on I-70. And I stopped in there, ran in, and the guy he was just kind of part-time. I think he didn't really know everything. And the guy that knows everything was knees deep putting a flatbed on a truck. So we kind of looked at some of the stuff, but they didn't have anything we could do anything with. But that's why I stopped drinking. I got tired of waiting.
In this case, Brian, honestly, I can't blame it on that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay.
Combination of all the medications. And
we
are in almost a week with Michael. Shit, that'd drive you to drinking.
Dude, I was on really good behavior.
Yeah, you were for the most part.
I mean, I was worried about you. I started getting worried Friday because you weren't acting right on Friday.
Yeah.
You were just kind of tired.
You were.
I even worked that Opus booth a little bit harder than I'd planned.
We're definitely all you're feeling better though, Lee.
Yeah, he was trying to pimp some Opuses, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was telling me earlier.
Yeah, I came up with the new sales model they need to start using. So price per square foot.
Square foot. Oh god, that's a good one. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, even Paul was like, "Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that one." I was like, "Dude, it's the most obvious thing that I saw." That and what I like about him is that you can still look out your rearview mirror.
No shit.
True.
That's a big deal.
If you drive a Jeep and you're in your Overland and you don't have a rear view mirror anymore, like it's
goose geared out, or it's your fridge or something's there.
Speaking of goose gear, they were there. But I never got to go over there. But
I never saw them either.
They were right across from like across the aisle from Step 22. I started looking at their stuff for the canopy camper. Dude, $700 for a piece of plywood covered in bed liner to go on the floor of my truck. No.
Only $700 with the price of wood right now. I'm shocked.
Hold on, you're gonna knock it. I have one in my Jeep, and we made my own. I made my own in the JK, and I thought that's hideous, and I'll never make one again. So I bought the platform for the Jeep, and the fit and finish of that thing is unreal. Like laser to the T.
I totally agree. But
well, Chris with Venture Forward just said that he did such a disservice by wanting that in bare wood and not getting it, with that rhino line, whatever it is they line it. He said that's definitely the way to do it.
Well, and I was the same boat as Lee. Like, man, $700 for a piece of plywood covered in rhino liner. That's nuts. So we went what every Oklahoman would do. We went to Home Depot and we bought some plywood and some deck paint, and we were going to build our own. And we did. We built two. And Brian and I both had our decked systems in our Jeeps, but it was horrible. I mean, nothing lined up right. It was squeaked. After about 3 months, the deck paint started wearing off. And then you go to a goose gear system and you literally just drop it in, bolt it down to the factory holes with, you know what I mean? And be done. And then another thing, like I needed some way I didn't want to drill holes in a 2021 Jeep Wrangler. So I needed something to mount that Dometic to. So we got that, and then saw the drawer systems at Expo East and thought I needed a drawer system too. So I just got my drawer system put in.
Nice.
Yeah. So now I'm a little eerie about the price of the drawer system, so I'm not gonna lie. I probably wouldn't pay that much, but I'm an Oklahoman, so I could have probably built one of those in Home Depot.
Well, when I had the Liberty, I had a whole bed platform and storage system in that, and it wasn't as pretty as everything but man, I could get everything I needed inside that underneath. And all I had on top was a fridge, and usually I kept my sleeping bag unrolled because I slept inside of it.
One of the things that justified me getting that drawer system is I change vehicles about every other year. It's not anything. It's just because I have OCD and I get tired of them. But I enjoy the build more than I enjoy the drive a lot of times. So I wanted something that was versatile where I could just pull it out and put it in the next vehicle. Because I have my heart's desire on a 392. I really need one of those in my life. I don't know if you've noticed. Oh, it's a need. I don't know I don't know if you've seen the way I drive, but a 6-cylinder just doesn't cut it.
Listen, I was on board with that 392 until I realized it's full-time all-wheel drive.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Then I was no.
But it's still got, all the Wranglers are kind of going to that a little bit, but they just launched the 392 Gladiator.
Oh,
I just read it today. They are already at dealerships.
Oh,
yeah. And that's
if I can't put jet fuel inside my truck and run it in the event of an emergency, I don't want it.
But you wouldn't have an emergency. You could get away from any emergency when you have 450 horsepower.
Here's the deal. After following Lee, or whatever you want to call it, going with Lee to Colorado and back, to Colorado, not back, it's hard pressed for me not to fully consider a diesel for my next rig.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, every 2.5 fill-ups, he was filling up once.
Yep.
It was ridiculous. I was so pissed.
And everybody, it was in the beginning of the year, 2 years ago, or even last year, there was that rumor that diesel was going to go away and it was going to be taxed and it was going to basically, be out of here in the next 5 to 7 years. Well, I don't see that happening now. It's cheaper than gas. You get better EPA, you get better fuel mileage. Everybody are trying to go to these hybrid rigs that aren't even cutting what a diesel can do. I should have went with a diesel. I just got ours in May, and I looked for a diesel Wrangler, and I just couldn't find one.
There's a guy that, of course, Brad's Jeep is diesel, and
Josh's
Gladiator's diesel, but
Mhm.
there's a guy in Canada. His YouTube channel is Casey250, and he does a really good kind of rundown on the diesel Jeeps. That he flat said, here's all the problems I'm having,
Make sure
but
your air breather's clean.
yeah,
Right.
that's one of
And
them.
you keep them cool.
Yeah, and he was having some overheating problems, but it didn't happen all the time. It was very sporadic.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he said, "I'd buy another one tomorrow."
Right.
Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean-
there's a few little quirks, and they'll eventually get these worked out. This is the first generation for them, so you're gonna
Right.
have that stuff.
The motor's an old motor. I mean, it's been around for a minute. It's the same.
That's the way the
block.
one in the That's the way the one in the Colorado's been. Most everybody, that little 2.8 Duramax, it's been made in Taiwan for the last 12 or 14
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And been shipped to every other country in the world, just about.
Yeah, but let's face it, all Jeeps have some kind of overheating issue. Like
eventually,
for whatever reason, something in just the design of it or something, even the Liberty. Like I had so many I had vapor lock all the time.
Yeah.
And it didn't make any sense. It's fuel injected. It's like why are we having vapor lock issues? Like why are we having to wait 30 minutes after you ran it for a while for everything to cool down before you can even start it?
Yeah. I mean that fuel.
What's something new you got? I know I'm going to switch gears real quick, but it just hit me. Sorry.
That's all right.
What's the newest products you guys have got in stock?
Oh man, Brian, chime in if you're still watching. So we got
he is, because he's been slamming you every chance.
Yeah, it's been brutal.
It's a love relationship. We make a pretty good team. So
yeah, Lee and I totally understand.
So we have BrewTech coffee stuff. If you're into coffee,
I love my BrewTech.
So and Planetary Design. We're running Planetary Design stuff as well. Clean Freak products. It's like a body size body wipe. You know what I mean? So,
body size body
wipe.
They have different. They have a small, medium, and large.
No, it's just one thing. It's
just keep getting
like
more.
$1, and they're like the size of a hand towel. You know what I mean? Instead of 40 baby wipes, taking a bath with one of those. You know what I mean?
Dude, I buy those dude wipes at Sam's by the case.
You got Peak Refuel.
What's Peak Refuel?
Peak Refuel is actually our newest. We just got in stuff today.
Brian, calm down. We're trying to. We can't.
Slow down, dude.
He's over here having an orgasm.
Peak Refuel. So it was one of the ones that I met in Outdoor Retailer. It's Mountain House. It's kind of like a Mountain House meal. It's dehydrated food.
Okay.
Got it.
But it is the best tasting dehydrated food I've ever had, and I've had them all. Especially being in the military for 20 years, eating MREs. You tend to shy away from that kind of stuff, and I can tell you, like, this stuff is awesome. Jet Boil. We just started carrying Jet Boil products. Lucy Light.
All I can sit here and think of when he said MREs in 20 years, like, man, you've had some shit in your mouth.
Oh yeah,
you see some shit come out your ass.
Yeah, buddy.
The good thing with MREs, it keeps you from all that
and then
stuff.
I'm gonna thread a needle at 100 yards when I'm taking shit.
They're made.
Brian just said Levi talks like he spells. Laugh out loud. Or ha ha ha.
That's in Oklahoma. I'm telling you, I graduated.
I'm telling you. Right, exactly.
My wife's from Jinx. I'm from Oklahoma, and we have all of our families from that area as well. So,
see, my wife does this thing where she'll say a word, and I'm like, "Is that some of that Broken Arrow shit?" Because in Georgia, we don't say it that way.
Dude, don't even start with your Georgia bullshit.
I made something yesterday. Okay, hold on. Here we go to the rabbit hole. Michael, I made something yesterday that I'm going to make another batch right before West. So if you're going to West with me, I'm going to have them.
You smoked it?
Boiled peanuts.
Oh, that's old news.
But I also smoked.
Like, what are you talking about?
No, hold on. I smoked some cream cheese.
Ooh. I just had that
with seasonings over
Sunday.
it. And we're going to make Texas Twinkies, brother.
Oh.
It's a stuffed jalapeno with smoked cream cheese and brisket mixed together, crammed inside the jalapeno, wrapped in bacon.
I need you to smoke some Nilla wafers with peanut butter.
No, but I am going to smoke some Cheez-Its and
Well, of
pretzels
course.
before the next one.
Well, no. Calm down. You threatened. You promised, and you didn't deliver.
I know.
How do you smoke Cheez-Its?
Put them on you open the box. I put some seasonings that I make up over them, sprinkle them,
Dude,
put
they're
them in
unbelievable.
in these little tins and just set them
So
inside
good.
the smoker, and I cold smoke them. I'm telling you right now, you'll reach in that thing and you'll come out with a handful of it, and your life will change.
Oh man, it sounds delicious. Sounds like I'm gonna break out the Traeger next week and
there you
give
go.
it a shot. Speaking of next
we
week,
got a question. Marco's asking if ARB is having any backlog issues coming to the States.
Everybody's having backlog issues coming to the States. So
and then
ARB
the price of
especially,
everything has gotten crazy for shipping. We were just talking about that and trucking and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So everything's having a backlog. One of the things that ARB,
shit, Brian's from Hennessy. Oh,
he is.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Been there many times. I used to take pictures there. Yeah.
Time.
Isn't that like the meth capital of Oklahoma or something?
I'm sure. If you ever met Brian, you'd probably know.
I saw him do that Brewtech video. Yeah. Poor guy.
So funny.
He's a short busser, ain't he?
No, he's actually smarter than I am.
That's too funny.
I know, but
Army fixed my teeth.
He's been busting your balls for all night long, so I figured I'd try to throw one.
He's probably been drinking just as much as I have. So
Michael and I didn't even drink tonight.
No, I did. I
mean, for
the
first show we've done in like
everybody
2 weeks.
gave me so much shit about drinking wine last episode, and I've still got like 2 or 3 bottles left of Lee's wine that he left in my truck.
Sangria, you like that sangria?
It's pretty good. It's sweet.
A little stout too.
Sweet. It didn't even faze me.
Really? Yeah.
Well, it's not oil fire, so
that's why I drink wine when we're camping, so nobody else can see me.
All right. Well, speaking of Long Creek apparel, they're there. This is the new shirt.
It looks awesome.
The new all over Overland shirt that
nice.
was brought to me at the expo. Thanks, Bats Off Road, for bringing that aloud. Lee has a drink in post.
Blood COVID.
Yeah, maybe so. That may be true.
My wife told me the other day, she's like, look, there's a couple bottles of whiskey up there. She goes, you need to start chugging. She goes, that stuff needs to get in your blood and kill that. I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I got all bougie with my wine. No, it was Lee's fault. He left it in the truck. So I just took full advantage of it. So it's pretty good.
Awesome.
I enjoyed it.
Well, everybody needs to make sure they hit up your grand opening this weekend. So
at the Overland Essentials. Check it out.
Definitely go and follow them on all of the social medias. And then if you're in town or if you want to get there and camp, like you said, you can camp in the parking lot and in the area around there. So get there, go do it.
I don't know how much time we have. We started our own Facebook group too, called the Overland Essentials Facebook group, and we've invited a lot of professional style overlanders per se, people that do it full time. Greg from the Road Shows Me's on there quite a bit.
Yeah, I was like,
but yeah, it's a professional level Facebook group, so you can talk to people on there as well.
Nice.
But you guys need to get on there too.
Real quick, Brian.
Oh, I'm already in there.
Oh, geez.
Okay. If Brian's still listening, in the comments, Brian, go ahead and list out the business information for everybody, phone number, address, all that kind of stuff. If you would throw that in the comments so that it's there.
Right on. Why did Dan Grett get brought up? What happened?
Oh, that's the guy I was trying to remember who was on our Facebook group.
Oh, yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a really good guy.
He's in Australia right now. So yeah, trying to get all fixed up so he can go hit the Outback.
Try. Can you put it all? See, this is the problem.
Put it all in
guys.
one.
These Army guys.
We have to break. Guys. You ever hear us talk?
Do we have permission to talk, sir?
Oh,
All right. Well, we're
Yeah.
going to wrap this up. Levi, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks,
I
man.
really
Thanks.
appreciate it. It was kind of last minute.
Oh,
and,
no, it's fine.
And you've been awesome. And it sounds like we need to get you and Brian on the show at the same time.
Oh, geez.
So we can partake in this, making fun of you, because that's really the funnest part.
I have a filter. Brian does not. So I don't know if there's like some kind of law on how many F-bombs you can say on these, but
we have a shirt that's going to be coming out soon that is basically fuck the FCC.
All right, fair enough. Brian will be invited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big hit.
If it makes you feel any better, I really don't have a filter either. I'm usually the one that
we didn't even mention Tread Lightly today.
Don't get me started on Tread Lightly.
Supposedly they're like going through a new chapter in their life, and they're they're gonna expand to more than just 1 or 2 counties in California, or something like that. I don't know. I'm being funny because that's kind of the whole point. Like, why? We live in the Midwest, and I don't see Tread Lightly anywhere.
Don't come out here asking me for money, because you ain't out here working on
any trails.
Yeah,
we get things closed all the time.
Hey, I will say this real quick though. Speaking of trails, Todd, that created trailsoffroad.com. I gotta tell you, I'm on his website, and so he and I had some dialogue. But if you guys haven't done that, trailsoffroad.com, the quality of video and the descriptions that these guys give you for some of these trails to prepare you to go on some of these trails, holy shit, man. I mean, it's amazing. I know that there's this big thing about, don't tell everybody, blah, blah, blah. But these are widely recognized and known trails. But these guys freaking video it with a professional crew, and they have all the descriptions and different places along there that you want to stop and look at things. It's the shit. Just tell you right now.
We talked to them and about how they do that. They have a network of basically almost employees that go out and they manage the trail. So not only are you getting an update, you're getting the most updated information. It's not information from a year ago. These guys go out and update these trails on a monthly basis. We talked to one guy. He manages 140 trails out here.
God,
and he runs those things full time. Just going out and managing these updates and taking photos and
new video, new photos to update it. Yeah, I mean, their system. If you're looking to go on a trail, and you're questioning whether or not you have a rig that's capable, almost every one of their videos starts out with, you could do this with a stock Toyota Tacoma, or, most any regular, 4-wheel drive, or no, this one, you probably want at least 33s and lockers, or
here's the deal.
Like
All vehicles can get into it. It just depends on how much skinny pedal and how much damage you want to take.
That's why I need a 392.
There you go.
Anyway,
there you go.
Put your money and invest it into trailsoffroad.com, not Tread Lightly. And I know I'll take some heat over that stuff, but Tread Lightly doesn't do shit in our part of the country. So,
wow. And on that note, so make sure that you check out the Overland Essentials and go to the grand opening this weekend. So, Levi, again, I said it before, but it was great to have you on. Lee, thank you for pushing the buttons. Everybody out there, thank you for listening. We do appreciate it. Make sure that you share this with everybody you know, because the more people see this, the more awesome people that we have that we can have come on the show to do interviews with. And whatever you do, make sure that you go all over.